Well, hello again. I am actually going to test a puzzle today, and I say that because this is a puzzle that was posted on Discord in a channel that's for testing puzzles that someone has created, and so I don't know that anyone has solved this yet, other than the person that made it. So I don't know anything about it. I don't know the difficulty. I don't know. I don't even know if it's a good puzzle, if it even has a unique solution. Although I guess if you're seeing this video, then it must have a unique solution, and I must have thought it was a good enough puzzle to post the video for it. So I do like to test puzzles from time to time that people have posted. Sometimes I turn on the camera, sometimes I don't. I think some of the puzzles I've actually done on the channel before were from the testing channel, but I maybe didn't mention that that's where I found them. But anyways, all of that is just to say I know zero about this puzzle. Hopefully it'll be interesting and this will make it into a video. But this one is called Killer Six Pack. It's by Starwarigami, which I thought was a really cool username. Um, just a good pun. And the rules looked really interesting to me. So normal killer Sudoku rules apply. And the cells not in any cage form an extra region and must contain every digit from 1 to 9. And the highlighted cells indicate consecutive pairs. So the extra region is all of these cells here. That has to be the digits 1 to 9. Um, and then by the highlighted pairs, I'm assuming it's the blue ones and then the ones over here that are a different color that I don't know because I'm colorblind. And then I think these five are all just gray, so I don't think those have a consecutive relationship. But these two have to be consecutive, and these two have to be consecutive, is what my assumption is from that rule. And then normal killer Sudoku rules, so of course, the digits in the cages add to the number in the corner. And that's all the rules. I'll leave a link in the description where you can try this puzzle yourself. And I'm going to give it a shot now. Let's reset our timer, and we'll see how this goes. Okay, so right, so that's why it's called six pack, because we've got a bunch of cages that are 6 cells. Now, 39 jumps out at me because, well, it's the biggest one in the grid, but it's very big. And so we know that all 9 digits, if you use all 9 digits, 1 to 9 is 45. So this has 6 digits, it's missing 3, and those 3 digits should sum to 6, which has to be 1, 2, and 3. So this has to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So now we know that these four are going to include 1, 2, and 3, plus whatever that digit is. So, so the problem is they could really be, and no, they can't. Right. So these two, because these two have to be consecutive, we know one of these two is a 1, 2, or a 3. Now, because 3 of these 4 digits are 1, 2, and 3. So these can only be 1, 2, 3, or 4. Because they have to be consecutive. So you couldn't put a 5 in here because the other one has to be a 1, 2, or 3. Now, if these are 1, 2, and 3, then you could have a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9 over here. Just has to match that one. But we do know those are 1, 2, 3, or 4. And we know they're consecutive. But that doesn't really tell us much more than that. Okay. 37 is pretty big. So since we know the whole box is 45, this cage is 37. This has to be 8, so it's going to have a 1 in it. It's going to be 1, 2, 5, or 3, 1, 3, 4. And that tells us this is 22. And I think 22... Does 22 have to have a 9? No, it doesn't have to have a 9, does it? 8, 7... Yeah, 20... Because 8, 7, 6 is the biggest you can do without a 9, which would be 21. So 22. And the reason this is 22 is we know this is 8. The whole cage is 30. 22. So this has to have a 9 in it. We know that much. What about over here, this 36? So this is 24, which gives us 21 there. Because again, 45. So this is 21. Now 21 doesn't have to have a 9, because like we just said, 8, 7, 6 is 21. It's going to have an 8 or a 9. But let's see, 21 gives us 15 in those three. Don't think that's super helpful. Okay. What about up here? This is 27, which gives us 18 in these three and 17 there. It's interesting. These ones in the middle, because we know the total of the three, kind of left over in the box, it's almost like these are two 3-cell cages, but they can't share a digit. That's the main difference here. So we know, like we said, this one's 18 and this one's 17, but the difference between having two 3-cell cages as opposed to a 6-cell cage is you couldn't repeat, you couldn't put like 7s in both of those or something. But I still don't know what that tells me. Over here, this one, we've got 32, which gives us 13 here. 12 there. 12's getting small, but there's still, you can still have 9, 1, 2, for example. All right, let's look at... well, right. So we know 1, 2, and 3 are not in this cage, right? So 1, 2, and 3 have to be somewhere in here in row 5. So at least 2 of 1, 2, and 3 have to be in this 29 cage. Does that tell us anything? Two and 3. This could still be 1, 2, or 3, though, I think. So that doesn't really help us. Because we know... Because you could still have 1 and 2 in there, right? 1 and 2 would be 20... Would leave 26 in 4. 9, 8, 7, 6 is 30. So, yeah, that's fine. There's no reason we can't have 1 and 2 in there. Could we have 1, 2, and 3? 6. So we'd have 23 in 3. 9, 8, 7 is 24. So yeah, you could still do that. Okay. What about these cages? There's 2 of them that are 23 here, which is interesting. So 40. So that's 46. And we know that all of these are 45, so these 4 have to be 1 more than that one. But that still leaves a lot of options. You could be as small as 9 with 1, 2, 3, and 4. Or you could have, you could work your way up. No. No, 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 no. No, you can't. That's it. Right. Right. 1, 2, 3, and 4 is 10. And you could easily increase that and go up, but you can't go bigger than 9. And if you go smaller than 9, if this was an 8, for example, you can't do 9 in 4. So, yeah, so these have to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is a 9. Which means these are not 9. There's a 9 in there. And 1, 2, and 3 are over here. So that's 6. So we need 23, which has to be 9, 8, 6. So these have a 9 in them with a 6 or an 8, and then there's a 6 or an 8 in here. So these are going to be 4, 5, 7 with a 6 or an 8. And so these are not 4, 5, 7. So we've got... And now we've got a 9 X-Wing here. We can remove 9s from both of those, which means there has to be a 9 there, because we know there has to be a 9 in these 3 because they add to 22. Which means these now add to 13, so they're 6, 7, or 5, 8. 6, 7, or 5, 8. So that kind of gives us a 6, 8, 9 triple in a sense, because there has to be a 6 or an 8 in here. And there's 6, 8, and 9 in those. So the 6, 8, and 9 are used up in row 6 in somewhere in those 4 cells. 6, 8, 9. So these are, and this, oh, this could be 1, 2, or 3 still. Because it could be the same as that one. Could it? Yeah, it could. Because these 4 are 4, 5, and 7 plus whatever's in that cell. And so one of these two has to be a 4, 5, or 7. So the other one could still be a 3. It couldn't be a 1 or a 2, actually. It could be a 3. Because it has to be consecutive with a 4, 5, or 7. So these are 3, 4, 5, 7, and then it could be 6 or 8 also. No, it can't be 6 or 8 because we said, oh, it can be. Yeah, it can. Shoot. If it's the same as this one, it could be a 6 or an 8. Because this is a 9 with a 6 or an 8. So there's a 6 or an 8 in here, and the other one, 6 or 8, has to be in here, but it could be over there, which would allow it to be in one of these. But the 1 and the 2 are definitely in here, so this is not a 1 or a 2. We can say that much. But this can't be a 6 or an 8 down here. This one can't. This one can. This one cannot because of our 6, 8, 9 triple that we had down here. Now, does this 36 cage have to have a 9 in it? I wonder, can we do 36 without a 9? So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. I don't think is big enough. 8 and 7, 15, 21, 26, 30. Yeah, no, you only get to 33. So this has to have a 9 in it. We know there's a 9 over here. There's a 9 there. And we've got our X-wing here. So that rules out that one and all of the... This is a 9 right here. Which puts a 9 up there. And this is a 9 and it's... What would we say? 21 for these 3. So these 2 are 12. It's 8, 4, or 7, 5, I guess. Which tells us these are 1, 2, 3, 6 with 4, 8, or 5, 7. But that doesn't really tell me much yet. But 1, 2, 3, and 6 are definitely down here. 6, 8, 9. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7 somehow. That's too many to be useful. Okay, this was 21, which gives us 15 right here. If we had a 1 in here, we'd have to have 14, which couldn't be 9, 5. It would have to be 6, 8. So we could have 1, 6, 8 with 5, 7. Yeah. I was trying to see if we could limit this a little bit, but I think you can even have a 1 in it, and there's going to be quite a few options once you get a little bit bigger. So 2 would need 13, which could be 6, 7. Oh, it'd have to be 6, 7. It'd have to be 2, 6, 7. One would be 6, 8, which would force 5, 7. 2 would be, yeah. Yeah, okay. So that's not going to tell us whether this is 4, 8, or 5, 7. There's quite a few options in here still. No. We don't have 6, 8, or 9. Oh, but the 2 could be up. The one of the 2 could be up here, and then you'd still have... No, because we said 1 would have to have 6, 8. So even if you put the 1 up here, the other one is going to have to be a 6 or an 8. We don't have 6 or 8 up here because of our 6, 8, 9 triples. So this can't be 1, 6, 8. It can't be 2, 6, 7. Can it? It could. It could be 2, 7 with a 6 here. 2, 7 with a 6. This would be 4, 8. Otherwise, it's 3 with a 4, 8 or a 5, 7. So I think this has to have a 2 or a 3 in it. But this could even be the 3. No, the 2 or the 3 has to be. It's not. One of the 2 or the 3 has to be in here. Okay. That's not as helpful as I thought it was going to be. All right. Let's go back to the 23 cages. So we know there's no 9 in these, right? So 23 and 6. It's pretty small. Do you have to have, I'm sure you have to have a 1 and a 2. Do you have to have a 3? So let's see, if we didn't have a 3, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 is 1, 2, 4, 7, 12, 13 is 25. So yeah, we have to have a 3. Do we need to have a 4? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 is 6, 11, and 13 is 24. I think you have to have a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that's 10. So then, yeah, 5, 8, or 6, 7. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4. And since the 5, 8, and 6, 7 have to be in here, these have to be, one of them is 5, 8, one of them 6, 7, in this column. We know this one can't be 6 or 8. So, so between the 1, 2, 3, and 4, you've got, yeah. Okay, what else can we do? Can we do anything up here with this one? This is 13. It can't have a 9. Don't think that really does much for me. Where can I put a 9? Up here. Can't go in the 23 cage. It can't go in these because I've already got a 9 in the extra region, and it can't go right there because of that 9. This is a 9 right here. So that's not a 9. Now, we also know there's a 9 down here, don't we? But we already knew there was a 9 in the 37 cage, so that doesn't really give us too much. There's a 9 somewhere up here. Not in those, but it could still be in the 35 cage, I think. Do you have to have a 9 in the 35 cage? 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. I already did this once, but I don't remember what it was. I think it was 33. 8, 7 is 15, 6, 21, 5, 26, 30, 33. Yes, you have to have a 9 in the 35 cage, and it can't go in any of these. So this is a 9, and that gives us the 9 up there, and the 9, the 9 down here. So we've got almost all the 9s other than this little X-wing here. Okay, so this was 13, which means this is 12, and we've got a 9. So these have to be 1 and 2. This is not 1 and 2. Okay, and now we've used 9, 1, and 2. These are 13, and you can't use a 9, a 1, or a 2. So you could do... So you can't put an 8, because you'd have to have 5. You'd need 1, 4, or 2, 3. 7 would... It's 13, right? So, yeah, so 7 needs 6, which would be 1, 5, or 2, 4. So you can't do 6. So it's got to be 5... No. 13, 3, 4, 6. That's what it's got to be. 3, 4, 6. Okay. So what does that do for us? We know 1, 2, 5, 7, and 8 go up here. guess I'll write those in. That almost seems like too many to be helpful, but... Oh, since this is a 3 or a 4, this can no longer be a 1. Because remember, these two have to be consecutive. And so now where does a 1 go in the extra region? It's not in any of these, it's not in any of these, it's not there. And we know there's... Right, and there has to be a 1 and a 2 up here. So the 1 can't go in those, so there's a 1 in these, which means there's not a 1 in any of those, and there has to be a 1 right there, which is going to give us the order of our 2 and our 1 there. Now, can we do the same with 2? We know there can't be a 2 in those. There can't be a 2 down here. So there's a 2 in one of those. But do we know which one? I don't think we do. Oh no, there has to be a 2 in here. So there can't be a 2 in here. So this has to be a 2. This is a 2. This is a 3. Because we have to have a 2 in this 23 cage. We have to have a 2 in this 23 cage. So he rules 2s out of these. That has to be a 2 because it's consecutive. That has to be the 3. These are no longer 3s. This is not a 3. These can't be 2s. This is not a 1. These are not 2s. So there's definitely a 2 in one of these because we have to have 1, 2, 3, 4 for these 4. So this could still be 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8. It still has a lot of options, doesn't it? Okay. Making some progress though. 1 and 2 are definitely in here. Does 3 have to be in here? 3 could be there. Yeah, if you had a 3 there, these could both be 3s. No, because you can't have a 3 there, because this 3. So, yeah, so there's definitely a 3 in here, so this is not a 3. And that puts a 3 down here, because just by normal Sudoku, there's a 3 right there. And this, we said, had to be, yeah, and so 3, it needs to be 15. Right, so it has to be 4, 8, or 5, 7, whichever one is not in here. But this one can't be an 8, so that can't be a 4. Ah, and the 3 here gives us a 4. This is now a 1 because of the 3 and the 4. That's not a 1. This is not... Oh, and this one can't be a 4 either, so we have a 2, 3 pair now. Oh, the 1 up there also gives us the 1 in the extra region. 1, 2, 3. This is not 4, which means there's definitely a 4 in here, which means that's not a 4. This is not an 8. That gives us the 5, 7. This one has to be 4, 8. 4, 8 pair is going to give us a bunch there. Now, if these can't be 4, this one can't be 3. Because remember, it's 1, 2, 5 or 1, 3, 4. And this one can't be 4, so this one can't be 3. So now we have 1, 2, 5. Which gives us the order of those, which means I'm tempted to write in some of our candidates here, but I feel like I'm going to just make the grid really messy. I might write them in eventually, though. All right, let's see. What do we look at next? This is a really interesting puzzle so far, the way it's bouncing around the grid. You know, I get something here, which does something over here, which does something up there, and I feel like I'm all over the place. Which is great. Now the 6, 8 here. This has to be, oh, this has to be 1, 2, 3. These 3 cells right here. Yeah. Okay, so these 4 are 4, 5, 7 with a 6 or an 8. 4, 5, 7 with a 6 or an 8. Yeah, that still doesn't really tell me much. 5, 7, 5. Ah, but remember, we had our 6, 8, 9 triple here. We also now have a 5, 7 pair, because this one is 5, 8 or 6, 7. Right? Because it's 22 minus 9, 13. Yes. So there's a 5 or a 7 in here. 5 or 7 there. This has to be the 4. Or I guess an easier way to look at it probably would be, where can you put a 4 in here? None of these have 4s except for that one. I was just doing it the more convoluted way, which makes this a 5 because they have to be consecutive. This is not a 5, so these are 6, 7, 8. So these are 7 plus 6 or 8, whichever one is not in here. This is not a 5. Got our 4 and our 5. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the extra region. So these are 6, 7, and 8. So that means there's a 5 in one of those. There's a 4 in here. Just because of the column here. So these, let's see, these are 18. And these are 17, and we know there's a 4, so it has to be 4 with 6, 7, or 8, 5. 5, 8. This can't be a 5, which means that can't be an 8. Actually, you can't have an 8 in here because one of these is the 4. If it's 5, 8, this is an 8, and this is a 5. So this can't be 8. But if it's 4, 6, 7, I think you could go kind of anyway around here. But that definitely has a 4 in it. Now this one we said was 18. So it's got a 9. These have to be 9. They can't have a 4, so they can't be 4, 5. 1, 8 would work. 2, 7 would work. 4, 5 does not. 3, 6 doesn't work because if you put 3 and 6 in here, these would both be 4s. So it's 1, 8 or 2, 7. And then this is 4, 5, 8 or 6, 7. So there's an 8 and a 7 definitely in here. But okay, so 6 or 8, 5, 6, 7, 8. What in here? This is gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4 with 5, 8 or 6, 7. So this, I think this. If it's 6, 7. If it's 6, 7, then you can't put 6 and 7 in here. So this would have to be a 6 or a 7. There'd be a 6 or a 7 in here. You'd have to have an 8 in there. But if it's 5, 8, yeah, okay. I thought for a second that we had to have an 8 in here, but I don't think that's true. Or maybe it is, and I'm just not quite seeing it. Okay, I've got a bunch of these 5, 8, 6, 7 things going on. 3, 1, 2, 3. We know there's a 7 in one of these two. So this can't be a 7, which means this can't be a 2. 8, 9, 6 or 8. These, what was this? This was 8. So this is 22. I'm trying to remember all these totals. This is 13. Okay, so it's 5, 8, or 6, 7. This can't be 5, so this one can't be 8 anymore. So that gives us an 8 in one of those. But I'm not sure how that helps us. So if this is 8, then we know... No. Because you can still have 8 up there. If this is 8... Yeah, I don't think this can be 8 anymore because one of these two is an 8, right? If this one is 8, then this can't be 8, so it puts an 8 in there, which rules that one out. So if this is 8, this one can't be 8. If this is 8, this one can't be 8. So that one can't be 8 either way. So there's definitely a 4 in here as well. So there's a 4 in there, there's a 4 in here, but I don't think we can say for sure. It could be here with up there, or it could be both of these, couldn't it? Yeah. Still don't really know that. Okay, so what do we know? I feel like I say that a lot. What do we know? Oh, well, these aren't ones, obviously, because of that one. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. One of these is a 5. 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's an 8 in one of these two. So these are not 8s, which makes this 8, 9. Oh, does it? No, it doesn't make that 8, 9 because this could still be an 8 here. These are a 4 with a 5 or a 7. So there's a 5 or a 7 here, which means this is the other 5 or 7 because we have to have a 4, 5, 7 in this cage. Okay, so these two, let's color those yellow. Those are the same digit. Now, that could be the 5 up here or the 7 there, I guess. But they're definitely the same. So now we do know that this is 8 and 9 because there's the 6 in here for sure, which makes this an 8, and these are 6 and 9. And that 8 means that's not an 8. So there's definitely an 8 in one of these two. Oh, we have a 5, 7 pair. So these are not 7s. They're 6, 8, which gives us a 7 because of the 6, 8 pair in the extra region gives us the 7. So these are not 7s. These are not 7s. Now we have 4, 5, 6. Oh, yeah, and a 2, 3. Yep, okay. So these are 4, 5, or 4, 6, which is 9 or 10. These need to be 17 total, right? 18, 17. Yes. So these are 9 or 10, 17 total. So this can't be a 6. That's a 7 or an 8. Oh, well, it's a 7 or an 8 anyways because we have our 6, 9 pair here. 7, 8 makes this a 1, 2. And we have a 1, 2, 5 triple. So this is a 3. The 1, 2, 5 triple here. 7, 8. These are 4 and 6, I think, to finish the column. This is 1 or 2, which means that's not a 1. It's 7 or 8. There's 1, 8 or 2, 7. Okay. 4, 5, 6, 7 here. So there's a 5 in one of those. Yeah. So we have a 7, 8 pair here, which means these two are the same. Because whichever one is here, it's going to have to be the opposite there because of the cage, and opposite here because of the column. So there's a 7 or an 8 down here, but don't know that that really tells us very much. Okay, we can't have a 4 in here. So there's 2 and 3. It's either 5, 8 or 6, 7, which means this one is then 5, 8 or 6, 7. And this one is 5, 8 or 6, 7. The only way this one can be 6, 7 is if the 7 is there. Which would put a 7 here, which would make those 5s. 6, 4. 7, 4, 8, 9. Yeah, okay, I think that works. 4, 4. Okay, so what do I need to do? I need to see something. This is 8, 5, or 6, 7. That's fine. I think that's okay. 7, 4, 8. 1, 2, 5. 2, 5. There has to be a 5 here because the 1, 2, 5 triple, the 5 has to be down here. So this can't be a 5, which gives us a 1, 2 pair, 6, 9 pair. So these are 3, 4, 5, 7, and 8. These can't be 5. So there's definitely a 5 up here. This top one can't be 7. Definitely a 5 in there. 5 here. Yeah, that makes sense actually. Just by normal Sudoku, we can figure that out. 2, 7. This is 4, 5 or 4, 6, which yeah corresponds with that. There's got to be something here that breaks. I got so many places where there's like 2 options. Okay, so 1, 2, 5, 7, 8. So there's a 1 in one of those. There's a 1 over here somewhere. There's a 1 in a lot of potential places in there. Over here, yeah, there's a lot of places for 1 still. 2 down here, 3. There's a 2 and a 3 down here. This can't be 4. I know there's a 4 down here. There's a 4 up there. Is there any way to figure out the 6 and the 8 here? This is 8. This would have to be 6 with a 7. Seven would have to be here. If this is 8, this is 7. If this is 6, then these are 5, 8, and that's a 4. I don't think this can be a 6. Right, because if this is a 6, then you have to have 6, 7 in here. And we can't put a 7 up here. So this one can't be a 6. Does that help us? This is a 4. This is 6. 4, 6. This would be 7. 4, 6, 7. 9, 8. 7, 8. 4. Yeah. Okay. There's probably some way to figure that out, but I'm not quite seeing it. There's definitely a 6 here. Look, in box 5, the 6 has to be over here, so this is not 6. This is not 6. So there's definitely a 6. No, there's not definitely a 6 in here. The 6 could still be up there. These either have to both be 4, or it's 7, 5, which would make, if this is a 5, yeah, this would be 6. Yeah, it'd be 6, 7. This would be 5, 8. Yeah. Okay, down here. Maybe we need to look down here. 5, 8, or 6, 7. But either one is fine here, and then the other one is over here. So if this is 5 and 8, 6, 4, 7. This would be 8 and 7, 6. Yeah, that works. 6 and 7 would make this a 4. 6, 4. These would both be 4s. 5, 8. Yeah, I think that works. Okay. So that's not the place to look, I guess. I thought it was. It's not. Or maybe it is, and I'm just missing it. Always a possibility. Wow, I feel like I've made lots of good progress, and now I'm just sort of spinning my wheels a little bit. Okay. There's something that I've got to see. Something I need to find. This cannot be 1, 2, 4, 5, or 9. This has to be 3, 6, 7, or 8. Does that tell us anything? I don't think it does. All right, so there's something, it's some sort of scanning thing. It's normal Sudoku at this point, I feel like. Um, there's no 7 up here. There's a 7 down there. 5, 6, 7. 3, 4, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 2 somewhere. You know what we do have here? We have 6s in one of those and 6s in one of these. So it's a 6s X-Wing. So we can remove 6s from those. Does that help at all? 6s in here. There's 6s there, there's 6s here. So there's not a 6 over here. So the 6 has to be up there somewhere. I don't know that that really helps though. Okay. 5, 7, 4, 8. This is 5, 8, or 6, 7. This is 7, 2, or 8, 1. This is 7, 4, 6, or 8, 4, 5. 3, 4, 6. I think we've still got 2 possibilities for all of our little sets of 3 here. So I don't think that's going to help. 1, 2, 5. Four can be anywhere up there. 5 or 7 in here. There's a 5 or a 7 up here. Okay. This has to be... There has to be a 1 or a 2 in here. Okay. What am I not seeing? 1s, 2s. I'm sure it's something obvious. I'm positive at this point. I've been stuck long enough. It's something obvious that I should have seen. What is it though? 3s. 3s. We know there's a 3 in here. Okay. I never wrote in the options down here. Let's just go for it. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. These can't be 2 or 3. These can't be 1s. So these can't be 6s. 2, 3, 5, 7. There's 4 over here. 6 in one of these. 8 in one of those. This is 4, 5, or 4, 6. Okay, if it's 4, 5, obviously it has to be this way. If it's 4, 6, it has to be the other way. So if it's 4, 6, it has to be this direction, and then it would have a 7. So this is either 6, 7, or it's 4, 8. 4, 8. Okay, so there's a 4 and a 6 in here. This is I just got to finish this off. I just have to finish the puzzle. and it's just not happening. Ah, there's definitely an 8 up here. Look at where 8 can go in column 9. 8 is in one of those. So these are not 8. So there's an 8 there. Does that help? Ah, I don't think it does. Six down here. Ah, so the only nope, 6 can go there too. I was gonna say 6 has to be here in this column, but it doesn't. Oh, the 8. We can't put an 8 up there because of that 4-8 pair. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 3 can be in 2 places, can't it? Oh, it is something obvious. Very obvious. Ah. Okay, you guys can stop yelling at the screen now. This has been there forever. Forever. Oh, that's embarrassing. All right, I'm gonna leave this in here. I think I'm tempted to not post this video, but I think I'm just gonna go with it. Um, these kind of things happen, you know. I think this is just the way it goes. This 1 2 5 triple here means that cannot be a 5. That's a 6, and that's gonna unravel the whole puzzle for us. 8 7 5. This is a 5. These are not 5. That's a 9. 6 8 4 7 5. Wow. That's going to give us the rest of the puzzle. That was the thing we needed right there. This is not a 5. That's frustrating. But that's the way this goes sometimes. You get blind to stuff. Okay, so these are not. This is not a 7. These are 5s up there. Okay, so what does that do for us now? 3. Oh, the 5 here gives us the 7. That 7 means there's no 7 in here, so this has to be 5 8, not 6 7. So this is 6 and 8. This one has to be 6 7, so it can't have a 5. Oh, there's 5 there anyways. Now that 8 means there's not an 8 right there. 3 4 6. This is not a 7. That gives us a 1 8 pair in the row. What else? We got to get all of our pencil marks updated now from all the stuff that we did. These are not 7. 4 6 1 2. Oh, the 2 here means these are not 2, so that's a 2. 1 2. So now 3 4 5 8 1 5. Oh, the 2 there. That's not 2. So these are 1 3 5 and 6. The whole thing isn't just immediately falling apart, but I'm sure that was what I needed. I just gotta find, oh, the 5 there, right, the 5 here. I knew there was something, some pencil marking that I missed somewhere. Had to be the problem. So this is not 2. 3 1 3 4 5 6. This is 1 3 or 6. So there's a 5 and an 8 in here. So 4 and a 6 up here. So these two are the same. Let's make them purple. Because of the 3 4 6 here, we know those two are the same. Which is going to be up there. 2 in here, 2 up there. Okay, so what? I still can't do it. What's going on? All right. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8 is what we need. In the cage there, this can't be 1, 4, or 5. So we have 1, 3, 6, 8. This is a 7. These are not 7. So there's a 7 down there. We still don't know the 2 and the 3 here. Are the 4 and the 6 there? 7, 1, 3, 6. So these have to have 1 and 8 in them. Right, so this is not an 8 because there's the 8 down here. So these are 3, 5, or 4, 5. 3, 8, or 4, 8. Four is over here. 6s. The 8 wasn't one of those 2, and one of these 2. Come on. 1, 5. Do we have all of our 3-cell cages now? Oh, the 8 here. 4 and 8. This is not 4. 8 there. So this is not 5. 3, 4, 6, 7. There has to be a 4 up here. 8, 6, 7, 1, 2. There's a 2 down here. It's just scanning. It's just normal Sudoku at this point. Because I think we've got all the cage stuff finished now, right? This one can't be 4. It's just scanning. I'm just not updating my pencil marks very well. That's the problem. 3, 5, 6. Okay, so there's 1s and one of those. 3, 4, 6. 3, 4. Definitely a 7 in one of these. Ah, the 6. See, like I said, it's bad scanning. I've had that 6 sitting there forever. 4, 6. Now we have a 1, 3, 8 triple, which gives us a 6 down here. This is not 4, 3, 8. That gives us a 4, 5 pair up here. Now, let's do our scanning. The 6 over here gives us a 1, 5 pair. That's a 3. Gives us a 2, 3, 4. This is not 3 or 4. That's a 6. That's a 2. That means this is going to be a 6, 3, 4. The 4 here gives us the 4 and the 5. That 5 gives us a 1, 8. 5, 7 pair. This is an 8 and a 3 and a 1. And these are not 2 or 3. They are 5 and 8. This is not a 4, so we have a 6, 7 pair. That puts the 4 over here. In some ways, I kind of feel like that 6. Sometimes I want to pencil mark these cells, but it almost makes the grid too cluttered and hard to see stuff. And I was kind of afraid of that, but I did it anyways, and I probably shouldn't have. But, you know, lessons learned, right? Probably not. I'll probably do it again. All right, so these are... Oh, we have a 5, 7 pair. There we go, 5, 7 pair. So this is 1 and 6. And that 1 is going to give us the 5 and the 1. And then the 2 here gives us the 5, 7, 2. The 5 and 7 gives us the 5 and 7 at the top. The 5 here is going to give us the 8 and the 5. And that 8 is going to give us the 3, the 8. And in a lot more time than it should have taken me, that is Killer Six Pack by Starwarigami. That was a really neat puzzle. Unfortunately, I was bad at scanning and got stuck in the middle. Yeah, there's a balance between how much pencil marking do you do, especially with these bigger cages? And once we had, like up here, we had the 9, we had the 3, 4, 6. It's easy to put. It's tempting to put the 1, 2, 5, 7, 8 in here, but I don't know. It's tricky. Sometimes putting in the pencil marks helps you find triples and things, which we did find quite a bit of triples and pairs in here that weren't always expected. Like the 1, 2, 5 over here, I wasn't expecting to find that triple in there. So, but sometimes putting all the candidates in like these bigger cages can also make it more cluttered and hard to see things. So there's kind of a fine line there. So yeah, there you go. That was Killer Six Pack. I thought it was a neat puzzle. So even though I struggled through parts of the solve, I'm probably gonna post this video anyways because it's realistic. And yeah, let me know what you guys thought of this puzzle if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again soon with some more puzzles. Thanks. Bye.